Guys, it's Tuesday, and here's kind of the funny thing. One of my last comments on the brew review that you probably just watched, which is a day late and a dollar short, Chuck. I think I said if there is a tomorrow. Well, evidently right after I did the brew review, I was kind of having some. If you've ever dealt with the sciatic nerve, I hope you never have to. Um, I let's just say that I never got the brew review done. So there's going to be two of them for people like Steve Bush. You'll be extremely happy because you'll have extra something to do at lunch at whatever it is, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. What are we looking at today? Well, before we look at it today, I want to say thanks to my friend Ben at Optics Planet. I finally got the scope rings in for the upgrade to the Mosin. There was a moment that I had considered just picking up another set because I could also get these the same set from Millet on Amazon, but when I saw how much they were selling for versus what Optics Planet gave them to me for, let's just say that it was well worth the wait. Is the Mosin finally done? No. Once you put this Rock Solid Industries mount on here, you're already gaining some height, and then when you throw a 35mm tube scope on here like this one, you're gaining more height. And I find that it's really close. It's really close, but I'd like to try to pick that up just a little bit. So I found a company that makes an add-on piece for wooden stocks, synthetic stocks, and they actually come with different size cheek risers. And I think this will get me just a little bit closer. But that's I have to say so myself. I happens to be one of my favorite of the rifles. Can't wait to see what kind of reach out and touch somebody capabilities that one has. So what are we looking at? Looking at something called Feats of Strength. It's a Russian Imperial Stout brewed with chocolate. Oh, I think in yesterday's video, which is twofer for today's video, I said I was going to have to take a guess. Well, evidently I just have to open my eyes and read. This is a whopping 13.5%. And it's from Annee, and they're out of Chicago. And there's nothing to declare here, but it's white. And I don't know if I've had a pure white. Never mind. Let's see, what are we gonna open this big bad beast with? How about a big bad beast, a 50 cal? Okay, here we go. Oh, I forgot to check in with John Solar to see how they're faring out there. We were supposed to get 4 inches or more, and I don't know. We might have gotten 4. I don't know. You know, unlike those wussies down south, like Travis and Chuck, and you guys stand and marvel over at the frozen water on a puddle. 4 inches here is like literally nothing. Okay, well, it's dark. Looks like it has a little bit of sedimentation to it, mild on the head, but then again, I wasn't sure, so I didn't pour out of control. Has a, well, you can sense the chocolate in there, but it almost has a kind of a weird, almost wine kind of sweetness to it. Okay, well, let's just get right into that. 13.5%. And if I don't make it through the whole bottle, we'll play a round called Guess the Pharmaceutical mixed with a 13.5. Well, you do notice the alcohol. Has a little bit of carbonation. Almost that sweetness I was telling you about. It almost starts off as almost a bubble gum, like flavor, like sweetness. Right behind that is a little bit of an alcohol burn. You know, not bad for 13.5%. I've had stuff with half that made its alcohol debut more powerful than that. Yingling. Yeah, I drink that for $1. Got a little bit of an alcohol burn there. And then there's like a fairly noticeable dry, bitter charge, and right on the heels of that is the chocolate. And it sort of, I mean, like right at the very end, there's a weird kind of, I don't know how to describe it. Kind of like it's gonna be kind of a bad description, because you know, if you're writing this down going, oh yeah, I kind of like what he said there, oh yeah, I kind of like what he said there, kind of like what he said there, I think I'm gonna go try to shit, no way. The very last thing you kind of get is this weird, like, it's like kind of like combining a little bit of red wine, a little bit of chocolate flavor, and like some milk. And like maybe the little bit of wine is kind of not quite vinegar, but maybe kind of turning the milk against you. Kind of a thing. Kind of a, not sure I'm digging that part of it. I mean, it's just like, ooh, everything's going good. Yep, we're in the air. Oh yeah, the plane. Oh yeah, it's nice and comfortable. Oh yeah, hey, look, the wings just fell off. Oh shit. Yeah, kind of a, maybe it's just kind of carrying through that bubblegum-esque like flavor all the way to the end, and but it's just like right at the end you kind of get this. It has kind of a medium mouthfeel, but right at the very end, it's almost like it picks up a little bit, like it gets a little bit heavier, a little bit milky, a little bit chalky, kind of right at the very end. It doesn't give you a recommended serving range. You know, if it is a Russian Imperial Stout, I've probably got it a little bit on the cold side. If you're Paul over at PA Brew News, every fucking thing I've ever drank is a way too much on the cold side. I mean, he'd be like right there, stealing the shit off of the out of the vault, and going to town on the Vampire Slayer. Do you see that? Something with enough mass just came out of the bottle and did a kaploosh. Hooray then. Hey, honey. How was your day at work? Allow me to pour you a beer. I don't know if I can tilt this over enough. No. There's like a... Oh, here, maybe I can just show you. Nope. I disturbed it. There was like all this tan head and then like a brown spot. You know, it was like... Maybe I should have lightly shook this or something. Kind of picked up a little bit on the thickness. Oh, just like a fruity kind of wine thing at the end. I don't know. Maybe it just could be the amount of alcohol kind of changing the dynamics of things just a little bit. It's definitely unique. It with that heavier sedimentation and stuff that came off the bottom, kind of everything kind of picked up just a little bit. The intensity of the flavor of the alcohol didn't, but the intensity of that initial blast there, and then that dry bitter spot seems more. I mean, it's probably one where I might let this like warm up, and I could maybe give you an update if I remember, if anyone gives a shit. Overall, it probably wouldn't be bad, but that candy-like sweetness, not even sweetness, but that candy-like flavor at the beginning kind of, I don't know, almost sets it in the wrong direction for what your brain is going to think, followed up by the rest of it. The more intense, roasted, dry, bitter spot with the chocolate and that whole kind of thing at the end that I just can't put the tongue on. So I think I'm gonna nurse this a little. As far as an E-scale go, Feats of Strength Russian Imperial Stout brewed with chocolate, 13.5% by volume from Annee, and number one. Where do I put this on the E-scale? I honestly, I have to say this is. I guess I'll wait and see if things like surge a little bit more, but it's almost like the highlight is the 13.5%. So I'm gonna call this an 8.5. Might revise my thoughts if it warms up just a little. Maybe I'm too much on the cold side. Oh, excuse me. As far as tomorrow goes, let's take a look at Lagunitas Pils, Czech style Pilsner, 6% by volume. So interested in actually giving this a try. A Pils from Lagunitas. Okay, so let's do that tomorrow. If there is a tomorrow, because evidently there's 2 todays. And again, want to say thank you. I don't know if he ever he probably never watches any of this shit over here. I know he watches. I know Ben from Optics Planet watches the other channel, but want to thank him for finally getting the rings and being able to put that on there and get it all leveled up. Like I said, it's close, but for what it is, there's just, I want to say the difference is gonna riser assembly that I'm getting, and I'll show you what those look like in case someone wants to go that route. I noticed they were on Amazon, and they weren't bad as far as price goes, but I wanted something just a little bit more. You could get just like a rubber bumper, a universal kind of rubber bumper you could put on there, but I think this is going to be a little bit more refined. It's going to look more like it's supposed to be on there, and less like one of the ones that's a sock. There was a lot of them that you could just slide over, and it was a cheek riser slash held some rounds. So I'll see how that goes. But if that's something that anybody wants to do a small modification and go various levels of being able to get a little bit of a cheek rise on there, they offered a camo version, and I'm just getting black. And they offered a wood grain version if you have a wood grain stock. Of course, I think a wood grain would look okay if you put even black on something like that. And yeah, so hopefully that won't be too long. So I'm gonna go shoot. Actually, if the weather kind of holds, looks like it's gonna kind of be going to shit by the weekend, and all next week we're looking like not even getting out of the teens, but we'll see. They never get the shit right anyway. What the hell was I thinking? I'm sorry. Let's be over here. I mean, you don't even probably best just like that. I mean, that's the one that Chuck probably prefers right there. So again, gonna hopefully sounds like my brother-in-law's done a few scouting things and might be moving the location of the shoot this year. Not far from where we are, but sounds like there might be going to be using an abandoned quarry, and he said that he thought that if we went in one area with a nice backstop to make sure nothing gets out of control, there might be at least a 300-yard shot, which I know Chris, along with company, would really like, and he had some great ideas. Granted, hopefully the weather is good that day and there isn't too much wind or something, because then you got to add something to what you're going to do. But he said, especially in a scenario like that, the most rewarding is to actually use a whole bunch of small like party balloons, and then you can lay them all out between 3 and 500 yards or whatever, and at least you don't have to keep walking down and looking at a target. So, but yeah, after last year, that was kind of a complete, you got like 500 pounds of in the red exploding targets, and then there was such a stink by the neighbors that we didn't even get to blow any of it up. Oops. So hopefully this year we can move locations and add a few more dynamics to it, like long distance, because that's something I'm very interested in, and that would be the same direction for an AR-10, either build or something coming from a company that I deal with. But okay, guys, take a look at that pills from Lagunitas tomorrow, and I'll let you know if a little bit of PA brew news on this gives up some more flavor, or if it it's one of those weird scenarios where I'm actually going to say that I would have given a lot higher rating, but there's almost too much going on. Okay. Well, before there's a massive interaction with my medication and I end up completely naked, I will see you tomorrow. Oh, if there is a tomorrow.